Hey y'all, it's Jenny. Thanks for stopping by and checking out my YouTube channel. I am going to attempt to share with you several of the items that I have gotten on this extravaganza shopping weekend at the flea market and the antique fair and 4 Goodwill stores. So gonna dive right in. My timer on my oven might go off because I am in the process. Oh, you guys, I wish they had smell tube so you could smell. I am baking a pumpkin pie for my sweet husband who's out for a bike ride at the moment. So he gave me a little bit of time to do some videoing. I get a little self-conscious when I videotape with him around because it just feels weird. I don't know. So anyway, it smells delightful, you guys. I opened up the little container of clove. It's the first pumpkin pie. And the deal with my husband is I get to do my thing and he goes out and works. And I take care of him and I bake for him. I worked full time for 9 years plus in this one job, and oh, he's worked as well and everything, but right now he's working and he's so sweet and kind and generous with me and lets me do this, and I take care of him too. So, but as I was saying, I opened up the little container of cloves and oh, you guys, it is so luscious. That smell just takes me right back to my childhood and my mom. It makes me think of my mom right away, and it makes me think of her putting the little cloves into the tangerines. Hi mom, I love you. And oh gosh, it just smells so wonderful. So anyway, and then I'm making spagilli. I think that's what I call it. I can't remember what I call it. I call it all kinds of things. Chilgetti, spagilli, chiligetti. Anyway, it's where you take spaghetti and you add some chili into it. And I know it sounds weird, but it's actually quite yummy. Quite yummalicious. Yumgetti, yummily. Anyhow, okay, this is supposed to be a share video, and like I said, the oven might go off and I'll have to get up. I did get this one bit of lace at the antique fair, and I did want to also share with you guys that I was asking the lady, so she had all kinds of lace, beautiful lace, and a lot of it was way more than I'm going to spend for the various different crafty things that I do, but this one was only $1, and there's quite a bit of it on here. It says a yard. I think it's probably more than a yard, and it's really delicate and pretty. I'm attempting to use my new light as well, so I'm not sure how it's gonna go, but anyway, she was saying, I was asking her, why is the black lace, because all of her black lace was less expensive, and she said it's because I'm not a lace expert. I know what I like what I like, I love what I love lace, but I'm not a lace expert. And she said it's because the way they used to make lace, whether it was handmade or whether it was machine made, didn't necessarily matter. The process of creating the lace, the dye, and making it black really dried it out, so that the black lace over time is much more fragile than the other laces, and it makes total sense. And like I was telling you on one of the other videos, I have this very old like morning shawl kind of a thing, and it's lace and it's black, and I mean, since I was a little girl, that thing has been falling apart because it's well over 100 years old, which is why I was saying I need to scan it. So yeah, I mean, it makes sense, but she said that's for sewing. If you're going to craft with it, if you're going to be gluing it down to something, and doing kind of that sort of mixed media thing, she says it's totally fine. So, and that's actually still in pretty good shape. I have no idea how old it is. I just know it's old. And then this other lady, I got my plant stand, my metal, I don't think it's iron, my metal plant stand. She had several doilies and this and that and things, and so maybe more than I would ordinarily pay. I don't know, but I liked these pieces. I was gonna buy a bunch of pieces from these other gals too, but that's when I had my $100 bill, and I didn't want to like throw down a $100 bill for a couple of bucks, and then I was just too tired at the end to go back to them. Anyhow, so this is just a couple of pieces. I'm gathering up some more. I had some other embroidery and cross-stitching pieces. They're so charming, aren't they? They're just really quaint and delightful. So I'm gathering these up again to make available in my Etsy shop. And this one reminds me of like a little miniature tree skirt. Of course, that's not what it is, or you could use it for that, I suppose. Yeah, so Really pretty, really sweet. That's kind of like crewel work, or I don't know. How is this lighting? I can't tell, sorry. I can't tell if I need to amp it up a little bit, maybe. I don't know. Oh, that's going darker. Let me see. It's bright to my eyes. That's for darn tootin'. Anyway, and then this other little piece that's on linen, and I love the black stitching in there along with. So got those three little sweeties. And then this is no particular order. I will try to give it some order. No, I won't do this yet. That's one of my books that I got from somebody there. This is part of the Halloween stuff that I got that I will, wasn't a whole lot of it, and some of it's, you know, people just want way too much. So Berenstain Bears, classic favorite. I thought this could be fun. And these are things that I will make available in my Etsy shop, probably for next season, not this season. And this is fun. These are were sold as placemats. I don't know. I need to put it underneath something. Holiday Inspiration. Oh, these are from Joann's, and probably not. You know, they're not crazy old, but I love the designs, and so unique. I haven't seen them before, and that's just, you know, maybe something to look for is paper placemats. Always looking for things that could be used, you know, for repurposed for other things. Yep, there goes my timer. I gotta check my pie. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Stick a knife in it. Nope, she is not done yet. All right, back to the Halloween-y items. So yeah, so I'm gonna be collecting these things. I used to do crazy haunted house. I dress up. Like one time I was this, you know, I pushed a shopping cart around and I had this baby doll in it, and I had a cane, and my shopping cart had a bunch of stuff in it. And I used to do our house, like I would board it up with cardboard, you know, and my husband would make a graveyard in the front yard, and I put this old fencing up, and our son would dress up. He dressed up like a freaking scary clown one time. So, I mean, Stephen King, It scary, yeah. Anyhow, so we don't do that anymore though, but I love Halloween. You know, having spent so much of my childhood in Germany, where Halloween on the base and off of the base is just done like nobody's business. And we lived in these stairwells. I'm just gonna show you guys stuff. These are napkins, and try to have a conversation. These are pretty old napkins, I would say. The bag is, you know, kind of turned this color in part from the orange dye, no doubt, but you can just tell by the color of the orange and the dye and the charm of the owls and the jack-o'-lantern scarecrow that these are pretty old. So those are fun. And anyhow, in Germany, there were stairwells. We lived in 3-story buildings that had 3 stairwells, and they were connected by an attic space and a basement space. And so people would set up these elaborate long in the basement spaces. They had storage units that went off. And this was in the early 70s. 69 is when we moved there, in early 70s to mid 70s that we lived there. And so people would set up these scary, and I was only 3, just turned 4 while we lived there when we moved there. Oh my gosh. But anyway, it was fantastic. It was fantastic. So Halloween has traditionally been a really fun, exciting time. I've always done it up. But you know, Otis is our only stay-at-home boy, and I'll share more about Otis and that whole kind of phenomenon. He's the only child. He's the right now. So our kids are grown and out of the house, and yeah, I don't do it anymore. You know, you move into different seasons and times of your life. So anyway, this was a cute little book that was for sale at the same vendor, one of the same vendors, and I loved the first page of it and thought that this is 1980 publication date. Anyhow, I thought that this could be really super cute in a junk journal, you know, for somebody next year. So I got that as well. There's another book, but I'll get to it, that's from Goodwill. I said something about it yesterday. This is a tablecloth, a Hallmark tablecloth. Not exactly sure how old. Not crazy old, but it's adorable. It has, adorable. Oh, isn't that an unusual word for me to use? It has sweet patterns on it. A little jack-o'-lantern and I don't know, a little bear or something, and other creatures. I can't see the whole thing, and I don't want to open up and mess with the integrity of that, but it's cute. It's cute. This is some Hallmark tissue. She was asking $1. I can't even tell you how much I ended up paying for it, but oh, I just tore it trying to get it open. Don't want to do that. Don't want to mess with the tissue. I will probably keep this for myself for packaging things. I like to package things up nicely for my Etsy shop. But who knows? Maybe it'll be in a bundle or something next year when I list it, if I list it. And then this is also more tablecloth that has lots of use out of it. And I love that it's kind of, at first I'm like, well, that's kind of strange. It's like a snowman, but it's a jack-o'-lantern with a witch's hat. Well, you know, it's not a snowman, it's a pumpkin man, or a pumpkin witch lady, whichever it is. So anywho, you can see. You figure it out. You figure it out for yourself. You're all smart people. You don't need me to explain it to you. I probably couldn't even if I tried. Obviously, I am trying and not doing it very well. And then this is cute too. This is Pack A. It's Gibson greeting cards though. Party papers by Gibson, table covers. So I think this one's probably, I don't know, 70s or 80s maybe. No earlier than that, I'm sure, but still lots of fun and very orange and cute. So got those. Then lots of Christmas baubles. I'm going to I don't know if you can still see this lighting thing. I'm going to hold this right here so we don't have the reflection of the lights. I'm just going to do a little tempting with some of my Christmas baubles because they will be going into certain things that I'm creating for my 2 sister-in-laws, my 4 nieces, my 3 sister-in-laws and my 4 nieces. And then I always do something fun and vintagey for our daughter Meg as well. Hello Meg, if you watch this, I love you. And so there was a couple, I was like, it's early for Christmas. And let me just tell you, as I pull these things over here, I started collecting vintage ornaments. I mean, vintage ornaments, were made in Czechoslovakia or Shiny Bright or whatever. I mean, we're talking old. We're talking, some of them are, pre-50s, World War II, whatever. I don't care. I know if they're vintage and I know if I love them. That's the qualifications for me. And I started actually doing it when we lived in Indiana. Another story for another time. I may have shared some of it with you. And they have caught on. And now the prices are going out of the roof. It's crazy. It's crazy how things catch on. Just like these little elves on a shelf. The little knee hugger elves. This one's not terribly old. This is probably an Elf on the Shelf remake. I'm almost 100% certain. You just get a feel for them, There's a difference in the look of the faces and so on. But anywho, he was in the pile, so I went ahead and grabbed him of different things. And they said, just make a pile, make a pile. So I did. He's still charming and he's cute and it'll work for the project that I have that I can't tell you what it is. But yeah, vintage ornaments already. It was only October. It wasn't even like prime Christmas decor hunting season, and I can't even believe how much they're asking for them now. So I'm glad I started collecting quite a while ago, and I have my collection because it's just silly what they're asking nowadays. So anyhow, this is one of them. And then I've always thought, and I've just never purchased them, you remember making these. I remember making these, or at least partially making them, because they would come in kits and stuff. You can probably still get them, but with all of the sequins, I would probably start and then my mom would finish or not finish and just hang them partly done on the tree, because if you look closely at this, sorry about the arm, there are sequins. Each of these white ones is a sequin. sequin. Is that the single of sequences that overlaps the other with all the little pin things? And you know, your fingers would get sore, and thimbles, you couldn't feel it if you did it with a thimble and all that stuff. But anyway, I've never purchased them, but I think they're charming, and I just went ahead and put them in the pile because, again, they'll work for what I'm going to do with them. So those are some of those baubles. And then these are also little beaded, you know, funny little Santas and Mrs. Santa. This is Mrs. Santa. She's a little busty. She's a little busty there. You know, Mrs. Santa's a little round to begin with, and Mr. Santa's quite round here. So yeah, so I picked these. Super fun up as well. And then that's another little beaded bell and a little reindeer with a bell. There's sets of these. They're made in Hong Kong. And then there's another pretty little lass with her hand warmer, her hand muff, little Barbie kind of kittle sort of fun face. Hopefully I'm keeping these in frame. I don't even know. I'm not paying attention. And then this is a sweet. This one's pretty old. This is Japan. Okay, so this is probably post-World War II or pre-World. I'm not sure. I always get those confused. Anywho, they're pretty. They're fun. They work. And then this one, who I bought from this guy. This is one of the ways I know the prices have gone up. He was there with his wife, and there's my timer again. Last year, and I bought a whole gob of pink ornaments for our daughter, vintage ornaments, because I guess they do like deck out their house, and they have like 20 trees or something crazy. So anyway, I love these. I might try making out of vintage cards and old cards, because I have lots of them. You just cut circles and then you glue, but so fun, you know, or some of those baskets. All right, I'll be right back. I have to go check my pie. Okay, next. It always kind of cracks me up that that we say I'll be right back when we put the camera on pause, because it's not like you really know that we went anywhere. But you know, it's kind of like when you're in a restroom and you are in a stall and somebody walks in on you and you like push the door closed or something, you know, if it's not latched all the way, obviously, and you go, oh, I'm sorry, like, or oh, that's okay, and like, what I don't know, what do you even say? Like, what are you sorry about? You were just sitting there minding your own business in the stall, right? And somebody else walked in on you. Or when you go through a toll booth and you say thanks to the person that you're like handing your money over to for crossing over the bridge. They should be called troll booths. And not that I hold anything against anybody that works at a toll booth or works at a bridge, because you got to do what you got to do and earn a living, and it's not your fault that we get charged money to go over a bridge. So don't get me wrong. Anyhow, I already showed you that. I'm just playing with him. Okay, moving on. This is the guy that, you know, that broke my $100 bill for me, and he gave me some of these little goodies. And I'm just going to kind of share Christmas things as much as I can. So these are some of the books. These are the golden books. Some of these I already had, and some of them I got this weekend. One of them's not a golden book. This is a wonder book. This one's actually 1951. That was a good year. It was the year my husband was born. So it's called Christmas Favorites, and it has various different stories about Christmas, of course, the night before Christmas, and, you know, some rather lovely illustrations in it as well. So I will be listing this in my Etsy shop. I'm not sure if I'm going to list these individually or, I don't know. Oh, those are cute. I love donkeys. Aren't donkeys precious? So, and of course, the night before Christmas, I have two of these. I think they're the same year. Let me check. 1976. And no, this one's 1980. So this one is right before they started putting the barcodes either on the front down here or on the back. And you can tell it feels a little newer. It looks a little newer, even though you can't necessarily tell by how worn they are, you know, because that just means they were well loved and used, or not stored well, whichever. but you can feel a difference. This is shiny. This has this kind of more texture to it. Both gorgeous, both lovely, both with the sweet pages and illustrations. I love that calendar thing in the front that we love in these books that we all remember from our childhood. And I probably should have called myself Nostalgic Soul Crafter or Nostalgia Girl or something, because I am so nostalgic. But that goes with my love and passion for vintage things, which I think I was born with. Christmas carols, lots of fun. Love the sweet little angels and the bells on the front. This one's 1972. Lots of sweet carols and, the precious, I almost said adorable, almost, illustrations and pictures. Jingle bells, of course, that one, we love this one as well. And I have one that I started altering it last year. This one's actually 1984, but it has an older feel to it. And Richard Scarry, I love, love, love Richard Scarry. I got another book. Oh, there's a little scribbly on that one. Looks like it's pencil, so I'll try to erase that. There's a little scribbly on this one. So, but that's all right. It still has plenty of pages that, that's just kind of what comes with the territory. But I'll see if I can, it looks like pencil, so I'll try to clean that up. Santa's surprise book. This one's got some troubles, but this could actually be worked off probably. And this one's 1974. So this one's really been loved. This was one of my all-time favorite Christmas books. I love this. This illustration, I just remember this so much. I don't know what happened to all of ours. Probably had to be in storage or something, and I don't know. Oh, yeah. Oh. And then, of course, Rudolph. I had the record book that I think may have, actually not record book, sorry, the actual album. This one's 1974. That it has similar, I'll have to look at it. I still have it. I loved listening to that record. I listened to it every year, multiple times. And it seems like, this is original story was 1958. So it's possible that the record is that time. I don't know. Mom, you can probably tell me. And again, Richard Scarry, Christmas mice. Too cute, too cute. A little bit of scribbling in. No big deal. That's where a nice little bit of Christmassy cardstock or paper. This one is 1965. And that's also a really good year. I'm just saying. So this one's cute, super cute, and it's small. So you could either, take it apart and repurpose it into a junk journal using the pages like this, making a smaller, just nice square junk journal, or you could just take it apart and reuse and repurpose these. We don't like mice particularly unless they're in Christmas stories. And then for some reason, or little Richard Scarry mice, and then for some reason, they become so darn cute. They are kind of cute anyway, but not in your house and not, anyway. Happy birthday! There's Frosty. Can you think about Frosty and not want to just start singing Frosty the Snowman? This one's 1979. It has a little story about Frosty. That's kind of cool. Never noticed that before. All the times that I've looked at this book as a child. Frosty the Snowman was born in 1950 as the subject of a phonograph record and soon after appeared in many different forms. And then it goes on. I wonder if it says anything about that about Rudolph. No, I don't think so. Oh, yeah. No. Oh, yeah. Okay, so Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the song was copyrighted in 1949. All right. And then another Night Before Christmas. Okay. Then I think the same lady that I got the little doily cross-stitching embroidery things from, I think this was from her as well. And this is definitely for repurposing. Going to Bed, starring Sandy the Sandman. Oop, husband's home. Be back. And I'm back again. Okay, so, my husband Tom went out for a bike ride and he came back, and then, lots to do. And obviously, I'm back because you can hear my voice. So I think, actually, you guys, I'm going to, like Sandy the Sandman, go to bed. But first, I'm going to ask you guys for a personal favor, and that is, would you please keep, I don't know if you've heard about the fires that have been raging for the past 24 plus hours in the Napa Valley, Sonoma Valley, Solano County, in those areas. But I have family members and family members of family members and friends of family members and so forth that are being affected by this, that have lost their homes. And, especially as I go through, I can be a silly girl, as you have probably figured out by now, but there is a very serious part to me as well. And, as I go through all of these things, and then knowing that this is happening, I'm going to start getting emotional again. It's such a reminder of, as I was telling Tom, my husband, how memories are made. Memories, these things, all of these things that are so important to us and so precious to us, they're fun. This is fun. And there are memories attached to all of these things. And it matters to me to honor those memories, but more importantly, what matters is to honor the people that those memories belong to. And at the end of the day, people are losing things. They're losing items. They're losing homes. And it is devastating. There is no minimizing that. There is no... I cannot personally, because I haven't had that kind of loss. I have experienced loss. And I have been run by fear and anxiety in my life at times. I have been run by the fear of loss without actually having lost something or someone. And so the grief has to happen. The acknowledgement of the loss of homes and items that have precious memories attached to them. It has to all be grieved. And I also recognize that it's not the things that make the memories. It's the people and the relationships that are associated with them that make the memories. All of these things, all of the stories that I tell are memories of people and relationships, of the places where I've lived and of the things that are associated. But at the root, deepest level of all of it is the memories are made out of the relationships that are associated with the things and the items and the places and so forth and the events. It's not those events themselves. It's not the items themselves. This is just a cute little card in and of itself. It's the memories of the relationships. It's the memories made with the people in our lives. Those are the things that count the most. These things count, but those relationships that make these, that's the stuff that lasts. This stuff, it burns away. It goes away. It cannot be counted on. It does not bring safety. It does not bring satisfaction. Only those relationships that we have. And so for friends and family, I just want you to know, and I want to ask everyone who might be listening to this at any point in time to value the relationships, to value the people, and be thankful for those people and those relationships that you have around you, and for your prayers for all of those who are suffering devastating loss, catastrophic loss, And we also are thankful for, you know, the lives that have been saved. There's numbers that are just crazy. People woke up and their lives were forever changed. But anyway, you get what I'm trying to say, and I could go on and on and on, but you don't need me to do that. And so instead, I will say once again, thank you for joining me. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for, you know, my silliness and my candor. It's part of who I am. It's not all of who I am. And thank you for your prayers and your thoughts for the people that are struggling with great loss tonight. And for those people, if any of you ever see this video or watch it, I just want you to know that that it matters and it's important to people that you don't even know. So thanks again, and I will keep on doing this until we're done, because there's still a lot. There's still a lot to cover. Good night, y'all.